They are different ages from different communities. Some are boys, some are girls. And while their stories are unique, they all do have one thing in common. They are heroes.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for the 2018 Children's Miracle Network special. Over the next half hour, we are going to introduce you to some amazing kids.
They are kids that have been through more than most adults. They're fighters, and their stories are sure to inspire you.
We start with Avery's story. Her own life has had a lot of setbacks ever since the day she was born. Her mom says the last few years have been challenging, but the family has had a lot of support.
Can you reach it?
When you're under 4 feet tall, everything seems out of reach.
All right, should we get in your walker?
Fortunately for Avery Hill, someone's always there to lift her up.
Oh, crash. There you go.
This 3-year-old is always going after something. She helps her mom bake.
Yeah, cookies.
She loves to color. And she's never afraid to tell you what she's thinking.
Here, Ma, I think this one is dried out.
It's a happy home for Avery, parents Mindy and Jared, and baby sister Reagan. Life, though, is a constant climb for the Hill family.
It's hard to see her go through, like struggling to sit up and struggling to roll over and, now struggling to kind of, get past the hurdles with, having a walker.
Avery was born 11 weeks premature and had 2 brain bleeds. In all, Avery spent more than 2 months in the Sanford NICU.
You feel so in control when they're inside and you feel like you can kind of take care of them, and then they come out and you have to allow this other team of people to kind of do all the work.
Just a year later, doctors diagnosed Avery with cerebral palsy.
And so that was tough.
Not as tough as Avery, though. She just keeps going. No, really. It's hard to keep up with her.
Oh my goodness, yes, she's all over the place.
Mindy says it's pretty special seeing her daughter reach such milestones.
She didn't hit him at the same time that all the other kids her age did, but she kind of did it in her own way, in her own fashion, and in her own time, for sure.
The Hills never had to walk alone on this journey. When Avery was in the NICU, Sanford Children's Hospital was there with all of the bells and whistles in technology, and the Children's Miracle Network gave much-needed support to the family.
There are going to be some hard times, but there are people there that are kind of behind you and got your back.
Which brings us here. Whether she is dressing up as Thomas the Train for Halloween, making a splash, or doing one of her favorite therapies, riding Peggy Sue the horse.
I'm like, nay, 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 nay.
Avery's life is a good one.
We're just so blessed to be, in a place with so many great, she's got so many great physical therapists, occupational therapists.
So even when the road is rocky, Avery Hill just keeps going and manages to lift us all up.
She's just so happy. It's hard to be upset or sad around her. She's just a happy kid.
Sure, she's just 3 years old and under 4 feet tall. But you better believe nothing is out of her reach.
Good job, Avery.
A lot of the equipment that has helped Avery wouldn't be possible without your donations. You can text KELLO to 51555 or go to our Children's Miracle Network banner on KELLOland.com.
Each year, the Children's Miracle Network selects a young child to be its CMN champion, to appear in commercials, billboards, and posters. Well, this year, CMN selected 2, and you're about to see why.
Hey, Percy. Hey, Thomas.
You can definitely see these 2 Cape Crusaders are brothers, but even though they're a few years apart, in some ways, Jackson and Jaron Sheff are identical twins.
Jaron Jackson's journey started when Jackson was first born.
That's because Jackson and Jaron both have a rare genetic disorder that affects both their eyesight and breathing. In fact, it's so rare, doctors don't even have a name for it yet. The family calls it the Sheff Boy Syndrome. Because of the genetic disorder, the bone structures in their faces were closing their airways, meaning they were both struggling to breathe when they were first born, especially Jaron.
Many times during our NICU stay with Jaron, the doctors would come in and say, he's not going to make it through the night.
Both boys have had several surgeries at Sanford Children's Hospital to help them with both their eyesight and breathing. As you can tell, it's helped a lot.
Help us.
But don't be fooled by their energy. Their breathing problems at first were touch and go.
But I was so scared to bring him this far away from Sanford because we'd never get him back there in time.
So thanks to the Children's Miracle Network and Sanford Health, doctors helped the Sheffs turn their house into their very own NICU, with breathing equipment, monitors, and a full-time nurse.
It took us a while to get used to because you have other people in your house while you're sleeping, which was just kind of strange at first, but we were so exhausted.
Now that exhaustion comes from trying to keep up with these two kids.
Hop around the block.
You know, most people see them and they don't even know that they've been through what they've been through. That, you know, if they want to go outside and play and run around, we got them to the point where they're healthy enough, safe enough, that they can go do whatever they want at this point.
One thing the boys really like to do is give back. Each year they hold events like a lemonade stand to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network.
I think it's fun going out to do that stuff. It's not like it's a serious time. It's like we're doing fundraisers that are fun for us too.
Jackson also wants to be a surgeon when he grows up.
I'd love to help CMN, and I'd love to make the CMN bigger and discover new diagnosis to the things that are all the kids now. And I may figure out some new ones to make the CMN area bigger.
As for Jaron,
Go ahead.
A firefighter.
you want to be a firefighter?
So far, he wanted to be a cop, a firefighter, and a boxer. Then it went to a boxer. And Mom said, we don't want your nose to get punched. So then he changed to firefighter.
But today, they are both CMN champions, and Mom and Dad are grateful for the support they've gotten from their small town of Montrose and all the staff at Sanford Children's Hospital.
We're fortunate that, you know, Sanford was right here in Sioux Falls. We didn't have to, for the most part, didn't have to leave, and had the specialists that could help us out right here.
By the way, this year's fundraiser is a softball tournament. We posted more information under this story at KELOLAND.com. For the tiniest patients, Sanford Children's Hospital is the only home they know. Up next, we're going to introduce you to a little girl who spent her entire first year of her life in the NICU. You won't believe how far she's come. Her inspiring story is next.
Welcome back. Balancing all of the feelings of a young child without being able to communicate them is tough on the average kid. Mackenzie Crawford has never even had the chance. She has had medical issues, including not being able to speak, since birth. Like most little girls her age, Mackenzie Crawford keeps her parents on their toes.
She's got a lot of feistiness to her, which is great most days. But she's also too. And yeah, some days it's a lot of work, but she's awesome.
While she's starting to catch up, Mackenzie's life has been a roller coaster from the very beginning. Kaylana Crawford's water broke at 16 weeks. She was then hospitalized for a few months until Mackenzie was born at 32 weeks. After that, the family spent 14 months in the hospital.
Lungs were underdeveloped. We put in a tracheostomy to allow for her to be able to get out of bed and have a life still as a child. And that has made a world of difference for us, that's for sure.
Mackenzie can't eat solid foods or even speak, but she's still just as ambitious as any other 2-year-old.
She is absolutely amazing with all of it, though. I tell you what, kids are definitely resilient to everything in life. You know, it definitely hurts the parents, you know, more than the child, just because the child doesn't realize or know any different.
The Crawfords actually live in Spencer, Iowa, which is about 2 hours from Sioux Falls. Spending the last few years driving back and forth for hospital visits hasn't been easy or cheap, but being there for Mackenzie was a priority for her parents.
If you have a parent here, the children do better. They can feel that, and the children do better. And she had a desire to live, and she worked hard.
A big reason they were able to afford this time was the Children's Miracle Network.
I think it's been well over $1,000 to maybe $2,000 that they've been able to help us, definitely with food and living expenses while around this area.
Now the Crawfords are hoping others will see the good CMN is doing and how a simple donation could change a life.
To see kids like this to be able to grow up and develop is absolutely amazing.
It's a great gift. People don't realize how much that helps until you receive that gift.
The Crawfords hope to get Mackenzie's tracheotomy taken out very soon, and then they'll begin working on things like speaking and eating. Now, if you'd like to help other kids' stories have happy endings, you can go online and click on the Children's Miracle Network banner at KELLOLAND.com, or just text KELLO to 51555.
What started as a fever turned into toxic shock earlier this year for an 11-year-old KELLOLAND girl. Thanks to special equipment here at the Sanford Children's Hospital, doctors and nurses were able to rush in and save Alicia Mueller's life.
There you go.
Alicia Mueller is taking life one step at a time this summer.
I could have ended up way worse than this.
Just a few weeks into getting to know her new prosthetic, the 11-year-old is making giant strides.
You can do it.
This past February, she and her family were blindsided one Monday morning.
I think it's just like a big nightmare, and I don't really believe it.
Alicia, the second oldest of 6, soon to be 7, was battling a fever one weekend with no other symptoms. Her mother, Rachel, says eventually Alicia started having trouble breathing and couldn't walk or talk. The two rushed to the emergency room at Sanford.
And then that's when they told us it was strep and the pneumonia, and that they're taking her up to the PICU because she was having a really hard time breathing.
The strep got into her bloodstream, causing her immune system to throw her into toxic shock. Within 5 minutes, Alicia would go into cardiac arrest with her parents stunned, watching nearby.
We both were thinking, what day will we be planning our funeral? Because they kept saying, check for pulse, no pulse. And so we thought they're going to stop one of these times.
As a last resort, the staff offered to use extracorporeal membrane oxygenation. ECMO provides cardiac and respiratory support to patients whose heart and lungs are badly damaged or diseased.
From what we understand, it hadn't been done, putting a child on ECMO while doing chest compressions. That had never been done, and so we're very thankful that they took a chance and that they saved her life.
Considered a second mom in her home, Alicia has had to take a break from caring for her siblings in order to get herself back on track. As a result of the toxic shock, her right leg was amputated around the knee when she was transferred to a children's hospital in Minnesota.
That was the first thing I remember. I cried and I told them to write a letter to my teacher and my classmates, telling them not to treat me differently and to be respectful.
Why is that important to you?
Because I didn't want to be like an outcast at school.
And her leg wasn't the only challenge.
The first day I was in Minneapolis, the surgeon was like, well, we're going to have to amputate this, and we're also going to have to amputate this, and this, and this. And my mom and dad were super worried about what's going to be left of our daughter. And then later my surgeon was making jokes to my mom, like, you were worried about your fingers, and I was worried about her life.
Her fingers are now healing. Unfortunately, she can't see out of her right eye, but that's her only neurological damage. Alicia gets dialysis 3 times a week. Her kidneys could get stronger, but if they don't, she'll need a transplant.
I think about the future, like I will be able to do some stuff again, like running, but right now you gotta get past this, and then you can do so much more.
Right now our goal is for her to be able to walk into her school on the first day of school here in August coming up, and we're really hopeful for that, and her physical therapist Dan is really hopeful that she'll be able to do that too.
As long as she keeps putting in the work, she'll be well on her way.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
I don't know, many things.
Like what?
I want to be like an actor, probably, and maybe a news person too.
She's free to write her own story now that she's on the path to recovery.
Sanford saved my life, and I'm very thankful that they did.
A lot of families travel long distances in order to get the best possible care. In a lot of cases, the Children's Miracle Network helps with those travel expenses, and that's not all. Coming up, we're going to introduce you to a family from Marshall, Minnesota.
When you see a hashtag on social media, do you ever think about who's attached to it? For instance, hashtag Dylan Strong belongs to a very special KELLOLAND family.
When we met Dylan Yaki, he was connected to a chemo machine and making the long journey back to a hospital room. It's not easy talking to a little boy about his cancer. So, we found a better way to connect. We talked about movies.
What movie did we just go see before we came here?
Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom.
Okay, I just saw that too. What did you think about that movie?
Awesome.
Yeah, Dylan's right.
So,
Without spoiling the plot, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is the latest in the epic dinosaur film series and features, of course, the beloved T-Rex fans call Rexy and the scene-stealing velociraptor named Blue. She's Dylan's favorite.
She's a good fighter.
Kind of like you, right? Mm-hmm.
Dylan's voice may be soft, but his mom says he's facing his disease with a mighty roar.
It's hard to watch your child go through it. You can't take it away.
In January, Dylan had severe stomach pain.
I had that mom instinct that I knew something was wrong. And
Doctors found a baseball-sized tumor and then diagnosed him with non-Hodgkin's Burkitt's lymphoma in April. He's been coming to the Sanford Castle of Care for chemo and will soon receive treatment number 6. Dylan may have the spirit of a fighting dinosaur, but he reminds us it's okay to be human.
I just want to be done with it.
The family posts these ups and downs on social media through #DylanStrong.
definitely humbling to know that so many people are praying for us and people we don't even know.
It's allowed Brittany and Dylan to get to so many people and connect with other families. #DylanStrong is giving them all strength.
Knowing that there are people that have also gone through this and sharing their story, and the people that are currently going through this that you meet here definitely helps you get you through your day.
No matter how many toys are around, being sick isn't fun and games for a kid. Dylan looks forward to the day when he can go back to school, get back on a horse, and leave cancer and chemo in the dust.
He just keeps going. And it's the same with Blue, you know, like she's this tiny little raptor and he's just this tiny little boy, you know, and it's a raptor, yeah.
Whether it's schooling his mom about movies, scrolling on social media, or sharing something a little more personal, Dylan and his mom show us an important truth for this long journey. Connection goes hand in hand with healing.
Christensen says child life at Sanford has also been a big help. These are specialists that support families who are in the hospital. It's just one more way the Children's Miracle Network is helping. And if you'd like to help, you can text KELLO to 51555 or go to our Children's Miracle Network banner on kelloland.com.
Having one child with serious illness can be challenging. With the family you're about to meet, they have 2 children facing serious issues and very different conditions.
Like most young children, Chris and Natalie Dose enjoy spending time at the playground. From the seesaw to the sandbox, these two are busy.
You can swing and you can do some fun stuff on the playground.
While they love to play at the park, Chris and Natalie have spent more than their share of time in and out of hospitals. When Chris was about 3 months old, doctors diagnosed him with a congenital heart defect known as VSD.
It's a hole between the 2 chambers of his heart. We ended up watching it carefully with cardiologists for about a year, and then when he was 1, he ended up having open heart surgery at the University of Minnesota.
Everything seemed to be fine, but a few years later, something changed.
He was about 4, and he started having these spells where he would have to sit down, he'd turn kind of blue, and it was after a monitor that we realized his heart was actually stopping for a couple of seconds.
Chris now has a pacemaker.
Basically fixes his heart rhythms, it keeps his heart from stopping, but it's not a 100% fix. So his heart is forever going to be lazy, or it's going to forever want to stop. So he will need a pacemaker his whole life.
Since then, the family has been in and out of the hospital. Not for Chris, but for his little sister, Natalie.
She has something called KBG syndrome, and this is a very rare syndrome. There are about 200 people in the world that have it. So for Natalie, that means she has epilepsy, she has an immune deficiency, she has lung issues, you know, she sees pretty much everybody at the castle.
Natalie now has a port to make drawing blood and giving medication easier.
We are in pretty much every week.
While it can be challenging to have 2 children in and out of the hospital, Brianna is thankful for all the help from Sanford and the Children's Miracle Network.
I like to think of Sanford Children's and Children's Miracle Network kind of like our community, like they're our people, they've got our backs.
This family has been through a lot of ups and downs, so it's reassuring to know that so many people care. In Canton, Sarah McDonald, KELOLAND News.
We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we will have more inspiring stories for you, including possibly the most positive teenager in KELOLAND.
The Children's Miracle Network is all about helping young kids and their families, and this next story is no exception as we introduce you to one of the bravest little girls you'll ever meet.
Good job. Look how fast you're going, Aria.
Whoa.
You don't even need me here.
6-year-old Aria Dyer enjoys a lot of things.
My favorite thing at the park is the sand shovels. They have one. And I also like the monkey bars.
But the past couple of years have been no walk in the park.
It was awful. It was like they took your heart and stepped on it.
When Aria was only 4 years old, she became very ill.
She caught everything and anything. She had influenza A, lots of viruses, scarlet fever.
But that was only the beginning of a long road to recovery. Aria also had leukemia.
So we are told that if you're going to get cancer, it's the good kind to get, and it was the good age to get it at because she wouldn't remember a lot of it.
I had to stay in the hospital for Christmas even. I got to watch a lot of movies.
As you can tell, Aria has been, well, like her shirt says, fearless.
Her needle is like 1.5 inches long. I mean, it's very, very large, and I get anxiety seeing it. But I mean, she never fusses, never fights it, ever.
Her mother is happy to report that Aria recently finished her last chemo treatment. Through it all, the appointments, the needles, the prodding and poking, the Bales say that they couldn't have done it without the help of the Children's Miracle Network and its child life specialists.
They're special. They're not anybody can be a child life specialist.
I did front flip in the air, I did front flip in the air, and a front flip on the ground and right on my face.
The Bales are so appreciative to CMN for providing gas money and meals while their daughter was being treated, but are especially grateful to the child life specialists who would help take care of their other child during Aria's treatments.
They would just step in and just hold a baby or feed one or distract one so I can be there for Aria when she was getting her needle put in or when she was getting an x-ray or something and she needed her mom there. They've just been an angel from God just throughout this treatment. They just have been there all the time, especially just right when you need them. They just pop up out of nowhere.
1 to 3? No.
Just go. Just do it. Okay. Oh, just like that. Good job.
But as Aria gets her finger pricked once again, they are hopeful that they won't need them around for much longer because Aria is now cancer-free, a true miracle child.
I don't even know how to describe her because she's just phenomenal. She's just a blessing from God.
Those child life specialists wouldn't be there without your donations. You can help by going online or picking up the phone.
A Harrisburg High School student is putting his body to the test roughly 2 years after leg amputation surgery. Dylan Barassa underwent the procedure after being diagnosed with bone cancer. Now he's free from cancer and jumping into a happy and healthy future. A positive, sports-loving kid, Dylan Barassa is making an impact on his hometown of Harrisburg and beyond. This is Dylan back in 2016, right after his cancer diagnosis and before his surgery.
It's awesome. It's really awesome to see how much my school loves me.
Back then, he was a student at Harrisburg South Middle School. Now, Dylan's prepping for his sophomore year at Harrisburg High. He's been getting to know his prosthetic leg for more than a year.
There you go. Oh, it's been really good. I've been able to run around now and do everything that a normal person can do. I can play basketball. I can do everything in gym class with my friends.
It's been a long journey to get here. Dylan is back on the field thanks to training sessions with Dan Steventon, a doctor of physical therapy at Sanford Health.
6 months ago,
he took the reins, and I've just been sprinting to keep up. So it's been good. I love it.
Steventon says he works in a profession of hope. He's been putting Dylan to the test 2 times a week, but it's not always about the physical part of life.
Nice. Fighting your best as you're going through treatment. We help kids face cancer at their absolute best if possible. And then now that we're out of treatment, like the next step is, what are you going to do with the years you've been given back?
Years Dylan's mom Miranda is grateful for. She's been cheering her son on from the sideline, pushing him to put forth maximum effort. She still can't believe what Dylan went through and how he's handled it.
He made it pretty easy compared to what I think it could have been. He's always had a positive attitude, which if he has a positive attitude, how can we not?
The Children's Miracle Network has helped ease the family's worries as well. The Barrasas make regular trips to Rochester for checkups at the amputee clinic.
They helped with travel, lodging, food, and just other things like that.
Those costs can add up. CMN has allowed Dylan to be able to focus on the future. His goal is to someday play organized soccer. Continuing to master these drills gets him closer and closer to scoring a spot on the team. Until then, he has advice for anyone facing a tough opponent.
Just try to be the happiest as possible, because I never let anything get in the way of me. I always just tried to be happy, make jokes, and not let make myself feel other people sad, make other people feel sad or anything like that.
A solid pitch from a teenager who's getting a kick out of getting life back to normal. That's all the time we have, but before we go, we want to say thank you.
Thank you for spending the last half hour with us as we've shared stories of so many inspiring children.
Thank you for supporting Children's Miracle Network.
And thank you for everything you do to help local kids. Good night.